The products I'm about to show you seem to have really big underdog energy. NearStream, that camera company that made those easy to stream cameras for churches and live streams, have dipped their toe into the mic and mixer space for streamers. Their two products are the NearStream AM25X microphone and the AMIX40U portable audio mixer. Now, are these actually budget-friendly alternatives that can actually compete with some of the big names? What features make them stand out? And most importantly, are they right for your setup? Let's dive into this review of NearStream's Creator Focus Combo. Now, just to be transparent with you, like always, NearStream provided these products for review. I was not paid for this review and retained full editorial control, but I do get to keep the gear afterwards, which I'm thinking about doing a giveaway of these because I saved the boxes. I still have everything like intact and put together. I'm thinking about just doing a giveaway for it potentially. Let's talk about it later. Now let's start with the build quality. For the AM25X microphone, the microphone body is mostly plastic and the included desk stand is metal. Now, the stand does have some weight to it, and it has a protective pad on the bottom to keep the mic from moving around. The stand does have a ball head on the top so you can maneuver the mic around, and it also extends by, I'd say, like 2 inches maybe, so you can have like a 2-inch extension. Now for the AMIX40U mixer, which by the way, these names are, I gotta have a conversation with NearStream. Let's simplify some names, why don't we? NearStream describes this as a compact all-in-one audio interface. Now it has 2 XLR ports, which does also double as a 1/4 inch. It has dual headphone outputs, and it also has a aux input as well. It has Bluetooth and USB dual stereo outputs, a 3.5mm audio port, and a USB-C port that goes into your PC. Now the actual chassis material is mostly plastic, as I can tell. They did not specify on the website. However, the knobs do feel like extremely premium. I was actually surprised at the fact that they felt as good as they do. But the buttons, not so much. This is one of my cons that we'll talk about later, but like listen to the button. NearStream, let's update these buttons. I would like to mention that for both of these items, these are the V1s, and I don't know if you'll actually be able to tell, but on here it does say that these are both the V1 versions. So I would imagine that over time, they're going to end up coming out with different updates and different things to make these items better. So that's one of the things that I would love to see changed in a V2, is maybe just a little bit, just an upgrade on the buttons maybe. And diving into the features, let's start with the AM25X microphone. The mic supports both USB and XLR. Right now I'm using this XLR output, which is just purely analog. So it's running straight into my Go XLR. So the digital features that I'm about to tell you about don't function in this mode. You know, while we're here, let's actually switch over to USB, why don't we? Okay. So that should be set up now to USB. Looking at the microphone, here, I'll turn this way. The mic itself has a mute button at the top here. It has a mic monitoring button at the bottom, and then it has the gain knob below that. When it's in blue, it's saying that you have noise cancellation on. So let me set this down real quick and listen to me clicking my mouse. Let's see if it actually... So it picks up around -50. If I were to turn off the noise cancellation, which is a hold down for 2 seconds on the mic mute icon, it will actually, here, I'll show you, it will turn yellow. And now we don't have any noise cancellation on, so you can hear me rattling and like as I set the microphone down, and listen to my mouse. -35. It's essentially 20 decibels lower when you have the noise cancellation turned on. So if I hold this down, it will turn back on the noise cancellation. Automatically, that sounds a ton better. Now, I did have to set my gain before we started recording. And how I did that is by just looking inside of OBS. Let's see if I can show you my screen here. How I did this is I looked inside of OBS and I looked at my chat mic and found out where it was at first running my volume at like -10. This microphone has 15 levels of gain, but the wheel will actually spin indefinitely, meaning that it doesn't have a stop. So what indicates if you're at the top of it is if this light blinks. So let me do it real quick. That means that I am now at the loudest possible setting that I can go. If I spin the other way, it will bring me down all the way to mute, but it will be a dim flash. So you just have to open up something like OBS. What I'm doing right now, here, I'll show you again. What I'm doing right now, and as I'm speaking into the microphone, I'm turning the gain knob up until I'm about peaking just above -10. Now let me remind you that using the XLR port on the back, you don't get any of these features. It is just purely analog audio going into whatever mixer that you have, which leads me to the next product in this bundle. All right, so I have put on my headphones now. That way we can listen to how this actually sounds inside of the mixer. So let's talk about this mixer. This mixer actually is extremely compact. Like the size difference between this and my Go XLR is kind of insane. Don't worry about this guy. This is just to my SteelSeries headset. This is just how I'm listening and monitoring the sound. So there are a lot of buttons when you first look at this guy. It does look a little intimidating, but I promise that it's actually fairly easy to figure out. On the front here are your inputs. So you have an XLR and a 1/4" input. It's kind of like built in, and you can either choose whether it's 48 volt or if it's an instrument. So you have your 2 inputs here. Then you have your background music input. This is essentially you plugging in a piano or your phone or stuff to play music into this guy. And then you have your monitoring here on the side. Now it's actually kind of cool. This can, it's almost like a chat mic mix knob. If you guys have seen the SC8 review that I did from Fifine, if you turn this guy all the way to the right, your microphone will get louder in your headphones. And if you turn this to the left, your microphone will become softer, but the software, anything coming into this guy, meaning your entire PC, will become a little bit louder. So it's very easy to, in your headphones, this is just for monitoring, right? You can just, if I want to hear a little bit more of my voice than I do of the game that I'm playing, or the opposite, if you guys come up here to the left set of buttons, you have your input 1 and input 2. That's these two guys. And then you have your background music. That's the music. And then you have your out, which is actually the outputs on the back that end up going into speakers or a computer or an iPad, wherever you want to output this sound to. The output does also go through this USB. So that's actually how this is fully connected to my PC. My PC is reading this as an input and an output right now. Here is your loopback button, and your loopback button, essentially, if you have speakers plugged into this guy, like desk speakers, and they plug in back here, and you don't want your audio from your computer to go to those speakers, you can turn on or off loopback. As you see when I press it, this changes from blue to white. If it's blue, it's on. If it's white, it's off. Then we have our Bluetooth button. This actually has Bluetooth, so we could connect our phone to this and play music through it to either go through our speakers or into our computer. A short press will turn Bluetooth on or off. Long pressing it will actually put it into pairing mode. Now, beneath the Bluetooth button is the effects button, and the effects button is kind of cool in my opinion. It only affects the background music, so the BGM. If you give it a short press, it will enable vocal ducking. So if we have any music playing through this, it will automatically turn the music down whenever it hears input in input 1 or input 2. And if we long press, it will actually turn on vocal removal. Now, how that works is if you have music playing and it has vocals in it, it will try to determine, it's kind of wild, it will try to determine the frequencies that people, like human voices, are in, and it will try to turn those out and remove those from the song. This can be helpful if you're using this for music and you're wanting to sing to a track that has vocals and you don't have a karaoke version. You can actually turn that on for vocal removal, which I just think is wild. And of course, the home screen, if you are clicking on any of these guys and you're trying to go through the different settings, you can go back to home by double clicking on this and it will bring you all the way back. Now let's talk about some of the features of this guy. If I go into my input, which is input 1, where I just was, you can mess with the gain here and just by spinning this knob to adjust everything. Then if I wanted to change my EQ settings, they have 4 different essentially presets. You have the original, which sounds like this. You have the deep, which I found is my favorite out of all of them. You have the bright, which sounds like this. And then you have the edit, which sounds like this. I really like the deep EQ the best out of all of them. Then if you click it again, you have Denoise. So right now I'm on level 2 of Denoise. If I turn it off, this is what it sounds like without Denoise. You get some of your voice clarity back, but also your voice kind of sounds a little bit more harsh. The Denoise kind of also acts as a de-esser in some sense. 3, it just pulls too much out of your voice, in my opinion. 2, I found was a good middle ground. And then of course 1 gives you a little bit more of your voice back.
but it does still have a little bit of noise in the background. Like it's not a very noisy room where I'm standing right now, but I can hear my fans of my PC going very, very softly. So I've just found that 2 on level 2 is the best. Then you also have reverb. It's built in, so it's not running through your PC. It's actually running through this guy. So there is nothing else pulling from my PC to power this other than, of course, just powering it. It doesn't have any processing power inside of my PC. And then, of course, we're back to gain. The same can be done with the background music. You can change the EQ of the music that's playing in it. You have a bunch of different options for it. You have your gain, you have your aux. So this is also where you can choose almost the gain of what's going into your PC. So like the USB, I can, which is my computer, I can change the gain of that here to be louder in my headphones. This also, as you're flipping through, you can see that it is also the gain of the Bluetooth and the aux and the USB. So it's all 3 of them on this toggle. You can also see if we click on the out, you can give it the gain of what is coming out of the headphone jacks out here, which would probably go to speakers. Then for the headphones, you can choose the gain of what's going out of there. And then for the second pair, which is what I'm plugged into, you can change the gain of that as well. The AM25X40U is also, it can just be powered via USB, so it doesn't need any wall supply, which is kind of cool. Now, after listening for yourself, what do you guys think? I believe that this combo is ideal for solo creators, podcasters, and potentially remote interviewers. For musicians, the mixer's Bluetooth connectivity lets you blend tracks with independent volume control, and streamers will appreciate capturing game audio alongside the mic, and of course being able to turn that on and off. For pricing, the AM25X sells for about $59 to $69. It kind of goes up and down, while the AMIX40U is normally around $135 to $150. But right now you can get the bundle for just under $200. Of course, I'll leave that link below. Now for the competitors, for reference, the Shure SM7B costs around $380 and a Rode Pod mic is about $99. Now for the mixer interface side, a Go XLR Mini runs about $189 and a Focusrite Scarlett costs about $220. Now those interfaces don't include features like built-in on-device noise reduction. For the Go XLR, for example, it's processing in your computer, meaning it's taxing on your hardware. Now let's talk about the pros and the cons for the mixer and the microphone. For the AM25X, it is truly a plug-and-play microphone. There are no drivers required for Windows or Mac OS. It is dual USB-C and XLR connectivity, which means that if you are looking for an even more budget option, you can buy this microphone, just plug it in via USB, and then once you want to upgrade to XLR, you have the XLR port on the back. You have a AI noise cancellation on the microphone itself, which I'm surprised that a lot of other companies aren't doing this with their own microphones. I feel like it's a feature that you don't have to run on your PC, which is always a great thing. Now let's talk about the cons of this microphone. Sadly, those digital features only work in USB mode, and this may be a personal preference, but the knob doesn't have a physical stop. It can keep spinning indefinitely. So this is probably going to be a situation where you'll set it and forget it and try desperately not to change your mic gain. The stand has just like significant limitations. I've seen this mic advertised online with a different stand, so I may have an older version from NearStream. Like I said earlier, it is the V1. The stand just has too many adjustment points that loosen too easily, and it's extremely difficult to position it correctly without accidentally loosening the parts that I did not mean to adjust. Now let's talk about the mixer's pros. This is also a plug-and-play device via USB-C, so no drivers are needed on Mac or Windows. The amount of connectivity options allows for just growth and versatility for your setup. I was honestly very surprised at how many inputs I could have in this small little mixer. It has high quality preamps and also the 3 levels of noise reduction that does not take any power away from your PC. NearStream has just knocked it out of the park with trying not to tax your system as much as possible and put everything in the hardware. Go XLR Elgato, they will utilize software, meaning that any effect or anything that you want to add to your microphone is just more processing power. And in this case, you don't have to worry about that at all. Now let's talk about the mixer's cons. The buttons that you need to actually press don't feel very premium. They just feel like just cheap buttons. And my other con with this mixer is you have an LCD screen.
but you don't actually get any sound indicators. There is no live monitoring and seeing how loud it is. So you actually have to utilize a software like OBS or Audacity or Audition to actually record the audio and visualize and see where it's actually at on the scale, how close it's actually getting to zero. But for my final verdict, the NearStream AM25X and the AM-iX40U both have some really awesome features that allow for easy audio and a smoothly running PC. For just under $200, you are getting the full audio mixer with effects built in, and a microphone that also has some of these effects built in if you need to travel and can only bring a mic and your laptop. I am wanting to run a giveaway for the microphone and the mixer, so if you want to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and comment down below. That's all you have to do. I'll run the giveaway for a month from the post date of this video, and then I will use the YouTube comment picker to pick the winner that will be getting this mixer and this microphone. If you guys have any questions or have any problems, please head to the Discord or let me and my team know. We're happy to assist you, and I will see you guys in the next video.